All right, so what we're going to do here today is, as you guys can see there on the screen, I'm going to roll the tapes here in a second, and we are going to bring you guys in for a little incline dumbbell action that I did. This was maybe like a week or a couple of weeks ago, and so I went ahead, I recorded all of my sets. I recorded, a lot of the warm-up stuff I do in between. Not everything I do in between, because that would take literally 45 minutes. So it's a truncated, it's a concentrated version of what it is that I do. But I thought, hey, let's walk through it. Maybe you guys can grab a little something from this. If not, then it's only, 8, 12, 19 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. So let's roll the tapes here, and let's go ahead and get moving. So there I am, grabbing the 30s to start with. There, got the fat grips on the 30s, of course. Man, I'll tell you guys something. The fat grips maybe cost me, I don't know, maybe 20 or 25 bucks. One of the best investments that I've made in my training, without question. One of the best investments that I've made in my training. I love to use these for my warm-up sets. I don't really use them for my working sets because they will really tax your forearms in a big way. But man, when you peel them off for the working sets, it just, everything feels so much lighter. You feel so much stronger. So we knocked out like maybe 12 or 15 reps on that first set. Here's the second set with the 30. Still got the fat grips. I like to do a lot of warm-up sets. I've always liked to do a lot of warm-up sets. And so, I'm going to do, let me think here. I'm going to do 5 warm-up sets, I think, before we get into the working action. And so those are the first couple with the 30s. And, oh yeah, I had to grab some footage with me and my logbook. People, in fact, here, people, let's stop the tapes for a second. If you don't take anything else away from today's video, nothing else, get yourself a logbook. March up to CVS, march up to Walgreens, bring your $4, and get you a logbook. Man, it will totally change. It will totally change your training, right? You'll know what you did. You'll know what you're trying to accomplish. And yeah, man, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too much because we may never come back. But anyway, here's my logbook. I am about to write down what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of script out the whole day there. And this is what I usually do to start all of my sessions. I kind of get into my warm-ups, and then I break out the logbook, and I just kind of write down what it is that we're going to try to accomplish that day. But, yeah. Oh, right there. You guys see me look underneath the incline bench? I'm writing down the settings of the apparatus. So write down what hole do you have it on. Write down how high is the seat. Write down, where do you put the pads, all that stuff. Because once you find a setting that you like, number one, you want to stay there because you like it. But also number two, like that can really impact the strength curve. Like that can really, really impact what it is you're trying to do in the gym. So whatever the movement might be, whatever the motion might be, write down what it is you have that guy set at. And, I'm just probably writing little niceties to myself to get myself pumped up there. Like, you got this. Like, you can do this. Like, this is all you, bro. Like, all the stuff that your bros would be doing for you if they were there training with you. But I typically train by myself, so I have to do it myself. But scripting out the day here. Let's see. It was if I was doing incline, this was a couple weeks ago. It was a chest and arms day, so I like to put all my beach muscles on the same day so that I can just not enjoy any of the other training days. Do your chest, do your biceps, do your triceps all on the same day. So yeah, that's what we got. And, oh, here's the floss bands. So scooped up some floss bands from I think these were from Rogue. I'm pretty sure. I think they maybe also cost me 20 or 30 bucks. That's pretty much the sweet spot for all the awesome gym equipment that you need to add to your gym bag. About 20, 30 bucks a pop is what you need. And so these are bands. I have 2 of them, although I usually only use one at a time because it's obviously difficult to do. You kind of want to use your offhand to wrap that thing up. But it's made of like rubber, latex, whatever it is. But you wrap up your joints. Like you can see I'm using this on my elbow here. I'm going to use it on both elbows. Elbows, knees, ankles. I haven't done it on my wrists yet, but I would probably be really effective on your wrists too. I've even done it on my triceps. I've done it on my forearms. I've done it on a lot of different things. And it kind of brings in a little bit of that BFR action, that blood flow restriction action. We just bring a lot of blood into the area, and you get that joint, you get that tendon really warmed up, kind of ready to go for the bombing and the blasting that you're about to bring its way. So I'm gonna do both sides here. And really nice pickup, really nice addition. I discovered these when I hurt my triceps. This was about a year ago now from heavy back squats, low bar squatting. My elbows were fine, my shoulders were fine, my wrists were fine, but my left tricep was just on fire when I would, kind of dig in for my heavy sets there. And so I discovered flossing, and it's, kind of brought my triceps all the way back. I don't really have too many issues with it. It's still, I think it might be one of those deals that's going to always linger to some degree for the rest of my training career, which, that's just a product of, it's a cost of doing business in a lot of ways. And so that's fine. But the flossing has really helped, and it's also improved my warm-up game quite a bit. And I've always had a pretty strong warm-up game. Not to pat myself on the back, but I take my warm-ups pretty seriously, and I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't really been seriously injured along the way. Of course, I've had a couple of things. I tore my meniscus back in January, but that wasn't a product of not warming up. That was a product of playing with freaking kids in the backyard. So that's a whole different deal. But get yourself some voodoo floss, some floss bands. I think it'll be helpful for you there. So all right, so now we've got the those look like the 40s, I believe. Still going fat grips. I like to leave those on for most of my warm-up sets. You're gonna see I'm gonna take them off here in a second when we get to, I think, maybe our final warm-up set. And yeah, one thing, if you kind of have been watching the sets and the reps, my first couple warm-up sets with the 30s, I'm not really, I'm pretty loose with it. I'm just kind of hitting some reps. I'm not being crazy with it. But now, as the weights get heavier and as I get closer and closer to the weight I'm going to use, I start to dial in the focus a little bit more. I start to take the warm-up sets a little bit more seriously and really start to set the groove for the form that I want to hit. So, okay, so here's another thing that I'm going to do to warm up. This is a product of my triceps being injured, so I'm only going to do this on my left side, and I just filmed one of these sets. I'm basically just doing negatives, band extension negatives on my left triceps to really, really flush some blood into that area. This is another trick that I picked up to help heal my triceps. There's a lot of good evidence to suggest that doing just negatives only on injured areas, especially if you have like a triceps tendonitis or tendinopathy or tendo whatever, you can fill in the blank however you want to there. I think the negatives could be helpful for you. So here we've got the 50s. Just gonna grab a few reps here. You can see the form starting to get a little bit more polished, and that'll be my last set with the fat grips there. But oh yeah, so this is the hardest thing I'm gonna do all day, is put my elbow sleeves on. The hardest thing I'm gonna do all day, the most painful thing I'm gonna do the entire day, will be put these elbow sleeves on, and you guys are seeing it happen right here, right now. And so I try to get them on as early as I can before I get like a sweat going and they're really hard to pull up. But I can't get them on too early because I need to leave, the surface area of my arm open for business, if you will, before to allow me to do, rolling out on my arms, with my stick, with my ball, do the reverse extensions, do the floss bands. I can't do a floss band over my elbow sleeve. That wouldn't really work. And so I kind of have to make sure I do, all those things first and then put my elbow sleeves on. So the elbow sleeves do tend to kind of be one of the final things I do. So, so here we go. Here's my last warm-up set. I believe these are the 70s. I'm just going to grab these for a few reps, nothing crazy. And for my last set, I usually like to get pretty suited up for what I'm going to use for my working sets. So sometimes I'll wear my elbow sleeves and my belt. So yeah. So all right. So here it is: elbow sleeves, wrist wraps, and belt. I've got the 90s here. I'm going to be hitting some sets of 7, I think, is kind of what I'm looking for here. My RPE on these sets is like 7 or 8. I don't have my logbook in front of me. Next time I do one of these, I'll have my logbook in front of me. But I'm really trying to focus on the reps. Like, I'm really trying to dial in the mind-muscle connection here. Like, I'm not just trying to just hoist the weight up, with no intention, with no purpose. I'm really trying to get some good quality reps. So it's not just a pure power movement. Like, I really want to extract as many bodybuilding benefits out of this as I possibly can. So here's my second set. The weight felt pretty good this day. I do remember that. The weight felt pretty good this day, and the reps felt pretty smooth, and I felt really, really good. I might give the 95s a go here pretty soon, but I'm not necessarily in a huge hurry. So those are my first 2 sets. Oh, and then we're getting pumped up for the third set, obviously. And so here's my third and my final set. I'm gonna hit another set of 7. And leaving a couple reps in the tank. I always like to do this with, I like to do this with a lot of the things that I do. And, it would be a good thing for you to consider as well. And so this was the incline session. Hopefully you guys got some tips and some tricks along the way. We're going to crank out the last couple reps here. And yeah, that'll be... all right, so that's it, baby. We are all done. I hope you guys got a little something from that. And hopefully give you some insights, give you some different things that you can do with your own training. And number one thing, if you don't remember anything else from the last 15 minutes or whatever, please, for the love of all things training, get yourself a logbook and use it. So that's it, man. So that was the incline session. As I leave my mug, ooh, that's quite a take there. But anyway, hopefully hopefully you guys got a little something from this, and it was useful for you, and you picked up some insights, you picked up some tips along the way, and you know, all of those things. And so I had some fun doing it. I'm gonna try to do this a little bit more often as I kind of figure out the you know, just how it works and the recording and all that kind of stuff, because it's obviously, you know, it's a lot to bring the camera in there and do all the different things, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun too, and hopefully you guys can get a little something from it. So that's it. That's the incline session. If you guys want to like, share, subscribe, any of those things would be amazing, and we'll see you guys next time.